Hello everyone and welcome to Bronyville. This is Bronyville episode number 113, recorded on July 6, 2013. I am your host, Apple Cider. Hello and welcome. Hi to you listening to this in podcast land, where we are a top 10 what's hot in TV and movies. Woohoo, go us.
Woohoo.
Hey Sandy.
Hey.
How you doing, sir?
Pretty good.
How are things in Texas?
Kind of warm.
Are they?
Yeah, it's a bit.
It was major hot this past week, and now it's back down to the 60, 70 degree range.
Yeah, it's a comfortable 94 here today.
So you do have the benefit of air conditioning. Like
that's right.
You can hide in your little place. We don't have that, so when it hits 90 degrees, we just kind of bake in our apartment.
I went out and played disc golf this morning. It's like the sun showing up with a baseball bat to collect the money you owe it.
Hey, Bob's here too. Hey, Bob.
Yep.
We got Bobberkins around. Nightmare Night Dallas, Chief Enforcer. Seems about right.
The man you should never cross.
Or he will legal you. And who are our guests, Sandy?
We got two guests this week. We've got a couple of representatives from Ponyville Live. We've got Silver Eagle. And
hello, everybody.
We are Borg. Is there a name you want to go by, or we just call you Borg, huh?
Resistance is futile either way.
All right.
Borg is fine.
All right, Borg.
Borg is fine.
I'm getting a feeling you're a Trek fan. I'm not sure.
Not really, actually.
Not really.
It's a long story.
I needed to prove my nerd streak cred as quickly as possible.
had to make sure in this group of equines that I showed my dominance early.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, well, I've got experience in other things, like Borgs. All right, don't mess with that dude. He's serious. He doesn't have
seen the look on John Delancey's face.
Yeah.
When he said we were aboard, the little smirk. He's like, oh, really?
Your character's a robot, huh?
I dealt with you.
That's pretty. It's kind of like two things moving together. All right, give me $30. Time's a wasting. But yeah, we got you guys on. We can definitely talk about how you produce videos, the stuff that you've made for the various conventions, the very cool videos that you actually pulled from EQLA, and what was the most recent? Fiesta Equestria, correct?
Fiesta Equestria. And we'll also talk about that a little bit too.
Awesome. All right.
I
Well,
want to introduce your other guest first.
I said you, Bob.
Not me. You got Borg.
Okay. We said
One more.
Silver. We said
okay.
Silver was mentioned.
Everybody's here.
I'm here.
Nobody's getting left out.
This is a full pony media parade.
There's just nothing funny to say about my name, though. It's like, and we got Silver Eagle, and that's a bird.
The only thing funny about you is your face.
Oh,
That's mean. You know.
Yeah,
it's okay. I have a face for radio too.
Yeah, you're also the only one on this stream that does not have a distinctly pony somewhere on their icon. You just have this.
What?
You have this distinctly like octagon dude with headphones and hands.
An octagon. It's a hexagon. It's our logo.
Oh God, I don't know things.
It's just the Equestria Girls version of him.
Actually, that's exactly what it is. It's the human version of my OC pony, of the Silver Eagle pony version of me. And I've had like all these commissions done of my pony that I just like rotate. Like on my Skype picture, like every day, like a different one. So today it's human Silver Eagle.
Like I don't even know what mine is. I have to like look at it real quick.
Yours is Borg. You are
the tangent, but I have a pony avatar now.
Do you?
Well, I mean,
think so.
Lyra. I mean, but
yeah. Well, I mean, his is
not me.
This is a lot of good radio for people who can't see the images too.
Let's move on here because we have the two questions we have to ask our new guests every time they come on. Because if we don't know what kind of person they are.
That's true.
Because we can tell a lot about who their favorite about someone by who their favorite pony is.
Can't trust some people by their horse preferences. So
I know, right? People like Trixie.
Oh, what's going on? That's just wrong.
So we'll just start this out. Favorite character, Silver Eagle, go.
Luna.
Okay, that's a good choice.
Favorite episode?
Trustworthy.
He's like Sam Kinison in Back to School. Good answer. Good answer.
And Silver, what's your favorite episode?
My favorite episode is the one that I started off with, which is Bridal Gossip. Because it has that evil enchantress and Flutter guy and I love it. It's hilarious. And Zecora.
Probably a good episode to start with.
Twilight getting up on her soapbox and giving the skeptic
literal
speech.
soapbox, yeah.
All right, Borg, what do you got for favorite character?
Twilight Sparkle.
Good. It has been far too long since I had another Twi fan on this show. Everyone else just being all like, we want like everyone else.
So the chat is right. The chat is right. The soapbox was the Pinkie Pie religion episode.
Feeling Pinky Keen.
Now, I don't know if she's best princess, though. That is yet to be seen.
Celestia's best princess.
She's better than Heartbutt Princess.
Better than Heartbutt Princess.
I don't think anybody could be worse princess than Heartbutt Princess. Oh man, we're just gonna make everybody mad.
The few Cadence fans out there are just like, you shut your mouth. All
She's
right.
throwable.
She's aerodynamic.
You swipe throw. Borg, favorite episode?
Favorite episode? Well, my favorite episode is no one's favorite episode, actually. It's Spike. No, just kidding.
I was gonna say, I'm sorry, you can't be on the show anymore.
Get out. Get out.
No, actually, my favorite episode is literally the pilot.
All right.
Part 1 or 2.
It'd probably have to be part 2 if I had to choose one. But I really like the whole pilot.
Have you gone back and seen the pilot recently?
I have. I have recently. I'm trying to introduce my girlfriend to My Little Pony.
Oh, you terrible person.
Yeah, and the house full of pony merchandise hasn't done that already. So now we're watching the episodes.
I know, the shame watching the episodes. Who watches a little girl show? I don't know.
Enjoy this thing with me. It's important for our relationship.
I mean,
I think it's hilarious. We caught him looking at watching the episodes on YouTube, no less. We have probably 20 copies of them. Like
downloaded
on DVD,
somewhere.
Downloaded, iTunes, like we've got Netflix.
I know I have them downloaded on my flash drive. So
he's like Googling on YouTube and like looking up like, hey,
so
the early 2000s called.
So Borg, what's the plan? You're gonna go through all the seasons and then you're gonna force her down like the fan fiction route of just like, all right, so here's Fallout Equestria, here's Past Sins, here's
oh man.
Well, last night I actually just showed her the first episode of Friendship is Witchcraft, and she thoroughly enjoyed that.
As well she should. It gets better.
It does get better.
Actually, I'm going to take her the convention route because I'm going to Brony Can. And it's her birthday, so I have to unfortunately take her with me. Or
unfortunately,
wow.
Watch your words on the unfortunate.
Hey now.
I hope she's not such a brony that she listens to this podcast. Unfortunately, I have to.
Unfortunately, I have to take her. No.
Vancouver.
Starry thinks that's messed up. All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to take her to all the cons. Like
Brony Can. That's right.
Brony Can.
Brony
Right,
Can
Dallas.
should be good. Nightmare Nights Dallas. That's also a place.
Everything that phony can't, Brony can.
Definitely. Okay, let's move this silly train forward. Who's our sponsor, Sandy?
We have 2. First off, it's We Love Fine. You can buy their fantastic pony merch and a whole bunch of other stuff, including a cat bug plush. OMG. Use our coupon code Bronyville10 to save 10% off. That's really cute. Cat bug plush.
Oh.
How much are you? You're $12.
Oh God, purchase.
Reasonable.
It's $12. Use our coupon code. Save $10. I don't care if it's not pony. It's cute.
Save $10.
10%. Sorry.
Yeah, 10%.
If you had saved $10, gosh, that'd be great.
How did you pull that off? Wow.
Oh man, did I say $10 or 10%?
for our listeners who hate math.
They have leggings and stuff now, and
Oh, that cat bug plush is so cute. I want
cool.
one.
The reward. That was the reward has some shirts now. That is a really fantastic YouTube short. I think you guys should all check out. It's really good.
Yeah, the reward's pretty neat. And I think they actually had a Kickstarter on that to actually make a show out of it.
Yep.
So,
and I hope it went well because that's pretty cool. So yeah, Bronyville 10 saves some money.
yep, do that. All right, who else?
So Night Nice Dallas, this little con that some dudes are running that we know about here in Dallas thing. Registration is live. We've got a whole bunch of guests lined up. Andrew Lemon, Peter New, Brenda Critchlow. We got from the show, we've got James Wooten, Jim Miller, Sabrina Abergetti, and Mitch Larson. From the G4 fandom, we have artists Pixel Kitties and Sophie Cabra, as well as representatives from Equestria Daily and Derby Hooves News. And then we have these guys that we have on the show because we're going to launch right into the topic time.
Oh!
We have these guys from Bronyville Live. They're going to be doing our videography.
And
that
we
is
have
right.
our final community guest, the British gent with the classicist bent. Full Papers is going to be making his way across the pond.
Indeed. So we're going to make he and M.A. Larson duel to the death. Because that's how they roll.
I don't know about duel.
You were going to
Maybe
have
Like I said, I have a
breakups.
contest in mind.
We're gonna
You're
film
going to have
it,
to break
right?
up so many of M.A. Larson's hotel room parties. I mean,
Why would I do that? What if I want to go to them?
that
break
that
up,
bro,
join in. Yeah, either way.
that bro party's too hard.
We will have fun with that. So, Ponyville Live, the new kids on the block, as it were,
They're-
relatively recent to the community.
They're stirring stuff up.
Oh man,
That's right. We're shaking it up. We're shaking up the pony media world.
So what?
Yeah,
what?
we're taking it.
So explain to me a little bit about what you've done in the past and what you are now.
So
Who's your
what?
daddy and what does he do?
What would you say you do here?
Well, when I was a little filly,
Was the sun coming down? Did the darkness and the shadows always make you frown?
no, they
Actually,
made
we-
me, giggle a little.
we
bit.
have an origin story. There is when we were a little filly, we went to these conventions, and when we got back home, they said, well, we'll have some select footage up on YouTube, and it was just like a couple
love
of
the
panels,
they.
maybe, and it's like, well, I feel like we could just, I don't know, I feel like this could be done more thoroughly. I feel like this
Professionally,
just
if you will.
professionally,
If not better.
more, just more enjoyably for the Brony community. It's like we can provide a better service, and that became one of the many cornerstones of Ponyville Live. So, Ponyville Live is a multimedia network. We have about 12 radio stations. we just had some new entrants this week, actually. And we have we have a pony music, 24/7 pony music, all different genres. We got one acoustic station, one electronic station, one rap station. Kid you not, we actually have an all pony rap station. It's awesome, So any kind of music that you want to hear, you can actually pick, one specific station and listen to it, and then you can just channel hop. If you go to ponyvillelive.com, you can just sort of surf between the channels and listen to whatever you feel like.
Satellite radio version of ponies.
Exactly. Yeah. We like to give you as many options as possible.
Yeah, so you have a pretty deep pool of songs to pull from then.
We do. I mean, the pony creative community, obviously, for those of us who've been following it, is they produce more content in a minute than you could listen to in 10. It's like, it's crazy the amount of awesome content. And so it takes, you could fill a number of radio stations with it. And that's exactly what we did, is, put together a number of radio stations from the community, all of which sort of had roots in, different places, different parts of the community. We brought them all together to sort of collectively do something awesome in the pony community, and so together we show up at conventions and we record conventions and broadcast them live over the web, and then archive them in these really nice archives. Like Fiesta Equestria, for example.
Yeah, so speaking of Fiesta Equestria, so what did y'all do this last weekend down there? Because you guys did some streaming.
Last segue.
We partied a little
Partied?
bit.
We partied constantly, really. Actually, no, we donned our Ponyville Live blue suits and hit the deck, and we got to working. And spent the whole weekend collecting a huge amount of footage. Almost 95% of the panels at the convention were recorded by us. They weren't all streamed because, they happened simultaneous to one another. So it was sort of like, well, you got to pick one you want to stream. But we have them all up on this giant archive on our website. And it's linked on our homepage, but we can post the link here in just a minute.
Basically, the con is in reruns.
Yeah, exactly. So if a lot of people went to the convention and, you can only go to one panel and they're like, yeah, I really wish I had seen the other panel, and I can go back and watch it.
Or you got to stand in line for Andrea Libman.
Mm-hmm. But also people, who missed Fiesta Equestria this year, I don't know, get a taste of it. See what it's like, because odds are they're coming back next year. It was a very successful convention this year. They did very well for a first year convention. I believe they quote their numbers around 1,000, 1,200.
Nice.
Which is a really, really decent turnout considering, there wasn't a Houston convention before that. So
who was your favorite interview of the weekend? Gotta pick favorites.
My favorite. We didn't get to interview Ashley Ball. Ashley Ball, unfortunately, was crazy busy. And she was just scampering around from one place to the other. And she's in Hay Ocean, and so that would have been a treat. What is going on out there? I don't know. What do you got?
Tell your Aggie friends that it's July 6th.
It's no, enough with the explosives. Anyway, let's see. Oh, my most interesting interview was probably the security guard. It's kind of interesting, as we do VAs.
I had to chase her down the entire con trying to get an interview with her.
This is just crazy because she is a actual law enforcement officer, but has the added benefit of also being a Brony. She's a member of the Houston Bronies. So she dresses up in this Lunar Republic Guard outfit, but she actually gets to wear the stuff that cops get to wear.
Yeah, she was fully strapped that weekend. There wasn't going to be any shenanigans on her watch.
No, and it was hilarious because we gave her a hard time about it the first time. We're like, you can't have actual weapons, and then she's like, yeah, I can.
I'm a cop.
And
Really?
What's cool is that her husband was also a cop, and he was there pretty much in the same outfit.
Yeah,
I think it's
kind of like I was kind of wondering how long it would be until I saw some Brony doing the taser dance, but it didn't happen this weekend.
She said she never had to go into cop mode the entire weekend, so 1,000 well-behaved people is pretty surprising.
Ashley Ball, Team Rainbow Dash. Ah!
You take me, bro.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a pretty good con. So, you guys have a pretty good complement of audio and video equipment. How many cameras do you guys own?
How many cameras? I think tons. How many have we returned?
How many have we returned?
We're this isn't good enough. Let's get it better.
We always experiment with equipment. It's every time we've been improving our equipment at every step we go. So EQLA, we had one set of equipment. Fiesta, we had a better set of equipment. One important lesson that we learned, if you might have seen our nighttime concert, is our next convention will have a spotlight. Because night vision, as cool as it is, just isn't as cool as having a giant LED light that you can point at things. So it's our cameras are the same way. So we have this huge fleet of equipment that we bring everywhere we go. So
All right, excellent.
Yeah, so we take some of our extra cameras and strap them to people's heads, and so we can track their movements.
So they're kind of like your tagged animals. They just run around the con and get into trouble,
and we report that back to a data center in Utah.
Oh, so you can report on the mating habits of the average brony, which has been very successful. I'm fairly sure.
I don't know. Bob's got one.
Oh, I know, right?
Bob's got confirmation it happens.
None of you has any kids, is that correct?
I'm sure that they're no.
Because once you have a kid, yeah, it's confirmed, but
no,
the opportunities kind of disappear.
I'm sure that it happens at some point. I'm sure that there are ones. It's just we
will not speculate upon any sort of indiscreet room parties at any cons.
Speaking of love being in bloom, there was one special moment at Fiesta. There was in the middle. Yeah, the proposal that happened sort of between the concerts, or actually right at the very end of the Michelle Krieber concert. There was a proposal, and that girl, she was just giddy the whole rest of the night. You could actually, she was running around in the audience, jumping up and down the entire rest of the evening. It was hilarious.
Had a sudden,
but also sweet.
I had a sudden massive burst of energy. Well, here's just a question for you both. You do streaming.
We do.
We do streaming,
and you do streaming of how many rooms?
All of them.
All of them, if possible. Yeah.
More than one.
More than one. That's right.
Are there things that happen elsewhere at conventions?
Things that happen elsewhere could go, well, absolutely.
Well, the con floor is pretty huge, and sometimes some of the most interesting things, I think, what was it? Brony Fest. We had that Octavia dance. That was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Just
the Harlem Shake at Las Vegas. Oh, are we allowed to say that word?
Oh, man. Cover your ears, children.
We have to keep it PG-13 for our
You're
wallet.
not talking about the one above the blackjack tables, right?
That con.
I know there was another one that was the Harlem Shake done in the massively empty room.
Yes. We did a Harlem Shake with the musicians of Las Vegas, which is funny because the convention itself did that, except upside down and taking, like, as the money fell out, they collected it.
Yep.
Like that. There is the Harlem Shake Up.
Shake down.
Shake down.
I still have to say that with as ridiculous Las Pegasus was, it was just akin to, this is what happens in Vegas. You go and this is the story you get. Like, no matter how benign, it's just like, I spent 24 hours in Vegas, nothing happened. I spent 48 hours in Vegas, nothing happened. I spent 72, everything happened.
Everything happened.
Yes.
And then on the flight home, I watched Ocean's 11 to make myself feel better.
Yeah, we definitely gambled and lost a lot of money, but we never hit a table.
Yeah. Tables are scary. At least I just have to, like, warm up to them. I feel like I have to take classes or go to the $5 pools just to be like, I'm not gonna. You guys aren't gonna take all my money, right?
I know we're
blackjack, actually.
I think it was like really late Saturday, early Sunday morning, and I think me and some of the guys from UPD were walking around in the casino area, and they're like, we can't leave without, wasting some money at the hotel rather than everything else. Playing some dollar slots.
Big spenders.
Yeah.
Big spender.
I do have to say that one of my favorite things about that convention was doing the Michael Jackson slot machine, just because everything was a Michael Jackson sound coming out of it.
Yeah, so, I've seen those on YouTube, and they're pretty crazy.
Yeah, come on! It's just like, it's just almost like its own meme generator of just like,
it's ignorant. It's ignorant. You guys are ignorant.
I like getting drinks at any time during the day because we can't do that in Texas.
We can't buy our beer before church on Sunday.
Especially if it's Sunday. Yeah, Sunday. Thanks.
After 9 o'clock on Saturday, and after, and only afternoon, and only beer on Sunday.
Yeah,
It's ridiculous. So that's really cool. And so you guys are going to have enough to at least video record 4 rooms simultaneously, plus maybe have one to walk around with, right?
My goodness. How many panels are you planning on having?
Well, Nightmare Nights Dallas is planning on having main events plus large panels and 2 small panel rooms.
Sheesh.
Wow.
And we already have a good chunk of that actually filling up in terms of panels. So we have a quite varied schedule already.
Excellent.
Yeah, I can tell you at Fiesta only had 2 other panel rooms besides the main events room, and we collected by the end of that convention 250 gigabytes of footage. So quarter of a terabyte worth of HD video, hours and hours of video. So,
and where could they find those videos?
Well, they can find those videos at a thing I should type out here in just a minute. Let me do that.
Okay.
I'm gonna put it in the chat.
Would it also be on YouTube's and other popular places?
Yeah, youtube.com/Ponyville Live Global or just PonyvilleLive.com. If you go to our homepage, we'll have the archive posted up on that big banner thing at the very top.
Hooray. Let's see. Is there anything else? Let's see. Trying to go through a mental checklist of other things. Nope. We're good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we can always talk about the con itself.
My mental
Fiesta
checklist is always
Equestria
empty.
was, I went down there to promote Nightmare Nights. I had a table, and everything went really smooth. I walked in the door, called the con chair up, said, "Hey, how do I get my badge?" Walked over to the table, handed the phone to his mom, who was also working registration. And she got me a badge in like 5 minutes. I grabbed my box, went to my table, and set up. I mean, it was super easy.
It's like hitting that Staples button.
Yeah, and unfortunately, well, not really unfortunately, they put me in this really primo spot to begin with. It was outside the main events room across from you guys at Ponyville Live.
Yeah, exactly.
And
we were neighbors.
it was one of those, this will be really cool. And then at the other end of the room, this is how the room was. It's a huge rectangle, right?
Yep.
Ponyville Live and I were on opposite walls in the middle.
Face off.
Face off, I could stare down Eagle anytime. It's like, ugh. Suddenly sumo matches break out, right? But on the other end of the room is this dance floor with the sound system turned to 13. They didn't go to 11. They went to like 13. And so while we're trying to do our business, we have these guys blasting their electronic dance music at 110 decibels or so.
Well,
to be fair, the beats were banging. I mean,
beats were banging.
The music
And
wasn't bad. It was just too freaking loud.
I loved having an excuse to yell at Silver Eagle like in his face. Like,
from point blank range yelling, and I still like it. But
that doesn't stop. But that doesn't stop you in most situations anyway. It just gives you an extra excuse.
Yelling at point blank range.
Could you hand me those cables?
But the other weird thing is they had the autograph tables at the other end of the room. So
constantly asking them to turn it down.
Yeah. And I would tweet at them some, but I actually tweeted at them once, and like within 2 minutes, one of the guards had wandered over and told them to tone it down a little, and then a little bit later it was right back as loud as it could have been. Yeah. It was kind of bad because the way the line for the autograph went through, basically people were standing right next to that thing, and I saw little kids with their hands clamped over their ears. It was really kind of unfortunate.
We actually had a friend who had one of our people brought a decibel meter.
Yeah.
And we were holding it near, like our table. And at our table, which was a good 50 feet from the speakers, it's a good distance. 120 decibels.
Oh, geez. So it's actually louder than I thought it was. That's dangerous.
That actually is dangerous.
Yeah. Hearing.
Closer to it, it was like 130.
Oh,
so
that is.
I can guarantee you that that's not going to be happening at Nightmare Nights Dallas.
The one thing to be any bodies in the room to absorb the sound.
Yeah.
Thought, based on some of those Friday pictures, I thought either you guys or PVL should have brought a football or an ultimate frisbee or something. Y'all could have just had a game of catch across the main event hall.
Oh no! Actually, I loved having a nice captive audience of those people standing in the
waiting in the autograph line. Yeah, you can go hand them things.
Yeah, and that actually worked out pretty well Friday, because I was not getting a ton of foot traffic because I was in main events. Main events was kind of far away. It's just the layout of the hotel, not the con's fault. And so I wasn't getting a ton of
separate building
flyers out. But once the dance started going, or not the dance, the Hey Ocean concert was getting lined up, and the opening acts were getting ready, I was able to hand out a ton of flyers.
I know. That was the good part of being stationed outside the main events room. But we did determine that the musicians' headphones, not headphones, the little earplugs, it's like they're not the foam earplugs, but they're actually like they reduce the sound without making it sound terrible.
Yeah,
like they're specifically musicians' earbuds, exactly. So they just attenuate the noise, and they brought it down to sort of safe levels. So we handed them out to everybody in our group. We're like, just keep these on at all times, really, just because it's.
Yeah, we had guys on the stage manning the camera, and so.
Yeah, next to the speakers, we had to tell Mike the Mic at one point at the Electronica concert. We're like, the people in the front row are getting hearing damage in 5 minutes. It's like, and he's like, really? Is it that loud? And like, yeah.
Here's our decibel meter.
Let's show you. Yeah, and we showed him the decibel meter. He's like, oh, okay, yeah, let's. Yeah. I mean, I know everybody likes to, wake up Sunday morning yelling because they think that everything around them is suspiciously quiet.
I like it when the music's so loud it makes my innards wiggle.
I had a great time
Silver,
last night.
I actually don't think you ever wake up at any morning.
How would you?
So
it's for normal people. The expression is for normal.
So besides it being loud, what else happened?
Well, I mean, on Saturday, I decided to be my usual loose cannon self, and I hijacked a table in the dealer's den and set up shop there next to Kafka.
Did you really do that?
Oh, I totally did. When I abandoned that table, I left it set up, partially set up with the flyers and y'all's flyers over there, and I just went over and took a table to the dealer's den.
And you had some.
We wondered where you went.
Yeah,
we just saw this empty table. It's like, what?
Well, I mean, it was one of those things. I was getting a headache from the music, and I'm like, you know what? There was a few empty tables in the dealer's den, and nobody said a word. So,
and speaking of streaming.
Yeah.
For the record, we streamed even the musicians' booth, or even that dance floor thing. We streamed that on one of our radio stations.
Yeah, so
every part of the convention. I mean, that thing.
Did you get the Hey Ocean concert?
We got the Hey Ocean concert. We got the Michelle Krieber, and we got the whole electronic concert in grayscale.
in grayscale.
Our friends from the forest had a really bright spotlight, and it kept messing up our sensors on our camera, so we had to switch on night vision. So ours is in night vision mode, which is like fitting for the concert, actually. It was kind of cool looking.
Yeah.
Because then you see all these glow sticks, but they're all like, alien looking.
Disembodied. You can see some eyes just glowing in the darkness. It looked like something off the Discovery Channel, Animal Planet. Here we see the wild brownies.
The native brownie is dancing to his music.
The leopards are waiting for their feast.
The native DJ Tetsuo is wearing a helmet of an inexplicable Lego creature.
It's actually not a marking from many people.
It's not a Lego.
The Brony. The Brony attempts to go.
It was a Servbot head.
Servbot, yeah, that's right.
The Brony attempts to talk to Michelle Krieber. It misses its chance another day.
The Brony will try again tomorrow.
In the meantime, he will feast upon the spaghetti he has spilled upon the floor. So, moving on. Beyond that, the con itself was pretty good. I hand out tons of flyers.
Actually, Abe was able to get a bunch of I think it was Saturday night or Friday night. I think before the first concert, I was able to get a bunch of VAs to drink a little. I mean a little. I mean a lot.
Yeah, it's not hard to make the VAs.
And so we went over and to the Hey Ocean concert. Michael Dangerfield actually really wanted to see it, and so we went over to the Hey Ocean concert part and. they were all dancing off to the side, and several times Peter New just decided that he wanted his face on camera and got literally his face in our camera 6 inches away.
The camera.
It was the funniest time.
Well, you should have seen my face on the other end. It's like, and before I realized it was Peter New in front of me doing it, I just thought it was just this sort of drunken fellow who was just sticking his face, like rubbing it so you could like see the nose prints on the lens. Like, I mean, the thing was like, he was so close. And we were just like, what are you doing? And then he pops up from the other side, and I'm like, oh.
Oh, hey, Peter.
You have serious issues with not recognizing the people right in your camera.
Well, it gets out of focus when you get that close.
All
It was
right.
he was doing voices and stuff too. It was funny because you couldn't hear him because we were like plugged into the speakers for the audio, so it just looks like he's like just mouthing weird things.
He's doing the world's loudest e-ups, trying to.
He's playing the Yup game.
It was the concert was pretty good. Ralph, the agent there, was he was like loosening up a little bit. He might have been like moving his head slightly.
I love me some Ralph.
Yeah, I actually I wouldn't mind just for the novelty of it, because Ralph is a cool guy. I'd actually enjoy to have him on the show. So that's going to be my weekly. Hey Sandy, let's get him on the show. It's going to be Ralph.
I'm reading an email from him right now.
Oh, that's good. He would be fun just to also know a little bit more about, hey, what's it like being an agent?
Yeah.
That is pretty. So I read these tweets and see these pictures from Fiesta Equestria among many, many other conventions. Oh, pause to answer a question. Ralph Strike is the talent agent for Andrea Libman, Tabitha St. Germain, Brenda Critchlow, and Peter New. That Ralph.
Whole bunch of guys.
Yeah.
So I think we need some kind of unofficial Nightmare Nights contest where it's who can accrue the biggest bar tab over the weekend in two-person teams.
Ooh,
Oh,
Right,
like,
I'd be down for
Ralph
that.
and Andrea versus Mitch Larson and Full Papers versus, let's see, what would be another good team? Me and Pixel Kitties, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, and
Just
is
have-
Shamrock from Celestia Radio coming?
Oh, I'm pairing
He
with
is.
Shamrock.
You know what? I tell you,
it's all over at this point.
Yeah.
Michael Dangerfield was actually buying like everybody at the table drinks at FE and pizza, and just any
Ooh.
brony who just happened to like get close to him, he's like,
Good guy, Mike.
That's
Nice.
it. Sibsy and Karen Padilla.
Yeah.
Really? I didn't really. Oh yeah, she is going to be there. Isn't she?
Yeah, she's our chief guest liaison. So
Very nice.
you'll be dealing with her.
I also like the
I am
fact
the
that
chief hexagon liaison.
So well, it'll be a good old liver killing party there. Bob. That sounds fun.
that sounds
AC
like
is betting against an Aggie in a drinking
And-
contest.
and yeah, we are gonna have Celestia Radio down to do their stuff too. So-
it would be really fun to do a off the record. Well, I guess you can't record an off the record really, but but it would be fun to do just a hey, let's just drink and have fun thing with a whole bunch of people. But who knows? That's a little
mini
too.
show, like a podcasty type thing.
Yeah, just something really loose cannoned.
Oh man.
Something really loose cannon.
Yeah, all in all,
to
Fiesta. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
answer the chat's question, this is a hilarious side note about the Ponyville Live logo. It took us 3 months for someone to finally tell me, because we just used a regular pony silhouette. I just thought, oh yeah, it's a silhouette of a pony. It's cute. It didn't occur to me that is Applejack. But it makes sense. Earth pony, right?
Wow, and
then somebody said, "Is that Applejack?" I'm like, "It totally is."
And that again plays to the entire thing that each news network seems to have its own totem animal.
we do.
Yeah, it's
exactly.
It's the entire thing of Equestria Daily is Trixie, Derby Hooves News obviously Derpy. We have Lyra and Bonbon. You have Applejack.
Yep.
Ooh.
Everyone has their totem animal, their totem horse.
in our logo, Applejack is a silhouette, so Applejack is still the best background pony.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
So we should all start wearing those spirit animal hats. I learned this at Fiesta Equestria, by the way, that there are these little hats, and the ears go like so far down that they're at waist level. Like it's like the floppy-eared hats, except they go way down. And they're spirit animals. Like they let you be your spirit animal. This is a thing. It's like a popular thing, and I haven't even like.
I have an otherkin horse.
Sure. I mean, I guess that's about as valid as me having Kevin Smith as my spirit animal.
Well,
Absolutely.
I think if I had a spirit animal, it would fight with my tulpa.
I think
Oh,
we're
man.
I think we're officially scraping the bottom of this barrel.
We are going really far out here.
This barrel is being scraped
the
really
Fiesta
hard.
Equestria worked out pretty well. The con went all right. Nobody.
It's considered very disaster free for a convention. You know,
Yeah.
there was one bit of people had
terribly high.
People had to sort of reach for controversy, which is actually a good thing. It's like when the most controversial thing you have is like, yeah, she doesn't really work for Friendship is Witchcraft, then that's a great sign, actually.
Pretty much. It was like, yeah, this imposter showed up and they got found out on the first day, and that was about it. So,
That's it. Yeah.
Yep, we covered that last episode, so listen to that if you want to know about imposters.
so yeah. Why don't we let people know where you can find you guys at? And
PonyvilleLive.com.
Yeah, ponyvillelive.com.
if you want to listen to some Pone music
Pony
Pone
music.
music.
with some cool folk, you should check them out. And they're going to be coming and doing the videography at Nightmare Nights Dallas. And here's something for you: if we can hit a certain threshold, if we can sell out at a particular threshold, we will stream.
That is right.
Ooh.
Say NFL.
We have to have NFL rules though. We have to hit sold out
The fire
capacity.
marshal has to tell me not to sell another ticket.
Yes. So once we hit capacity, we will definitely be streaming, and our hotel has FiOS. So
Whoa.
Sickness.
so you'll be able to do all, if we can sell out, which you should encourage people to come. And I know we're going to be talking to everybody under the sun. Plus, we're going to talk to the local media and say, "Hey, those bronies are in town. You should come check it out," because press is press. And we'll sell out, and then we'll sell out unless you guys stream.
Yep.
I'll have to say though, even if we do stream, I mean, there's a whole bunch at a con that you don't get to see, like drinking with the VAs or seeing them dance off camera.
How many people were drinking with the VAs? Is that
A lot, actually.
It was like 1,200 people drinking with
Exactly.
the VAs.
You know, you don't get to drink
That was
with the VAs.
It was a nice panel, drinking with the VAs.
Drinking with the VAs. Yeah, it was in the
didn't
main
do
events room. Right before karaoke, which made karaoke that much more fun.
There's a lot of like game shows often don't get streamed or recorded. A lot of audience participation things. There's a whole bunch that can be found. I know there's a bunch of Michael Dangerfield actually had some VA lessons. That was really cool.
It was a special thing, yeah, only for people who signed up for that. It's pretty cool, actually.
The whole point of a convention is it's a social event.
That's
If all
right.
you want to do is hear the VAs talk, there's a lot of interviews that they've done that you can go look up. If all you want to do is hear people's thoughts on things, there's YouTube and there's the internet. Like the whole point is to meet people with whom you share at least one common interest and try and find some others that you also share.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why you
Definitely
go.
experience.
Yeah, it's-
Also, how are you supposed to trade those pony trading cards if you don't?
Yeah. You can't, the stream does not give out the interplay trading cards.
Yep, those are kind of hard to get through the internet unless you want to pay $88 on
Oof.
eBay.
Yeah, you got me a
But that derpy card.
You got me that
derpy card,
derpy
I'm
card, right, Sandy? I got one of those in the mail.
I got one for me.
Oh,
One per bag.
One per badge, and actually it was kind of funny because initially they were just sharpieing the back of them
And people were Windexing off the Sharpie.
indexing.
and getting another one, and people got multiples until they figured it out, and then they started clipping the badges. So, yeah,
So now people have adulterated badges. Like
Yes.
they won't.
Yeah.
Because, I've built up this big compilation because I've been to, I don't know, what have we been to? 7 conventions this year. That, so now I have this giant lanyard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess a lot of people do this everything I've been to lanyard, right?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
and it's every convention, and at the very back is Las Pegasus.
Oh yeah,
I've
here-
got, I think if I did that, I have something on the order of like 37
yeah.
Oh,
badges over the course of my life, and a lot of them say like staff or presenter or guest. So it's
I
like you
can't-
wear
I just-
or there's a guest of honor badge in there somewhere.
Yeah, I'm actually holding up Starry's Las Pegasus badge set that she had.
Yeah. Oh, I do have to say it was really funny on the last day of the con after we had gone to Chili's together.
Oh, that's right.
We ran into Rommel from Brony's for Good. We hung out with him some, and he's a cool guy. And he had his Las Pegasus badge with him, and he gotten Peter New to sign it. And he wrote "Best Con Ever."
Ah.
I saw that on his Twitter.
Oh, that was great.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, it was very nice.
Well, to pimp a con real quick, and then we should probably go ahead and move to news. I know that you guys are also going to help out at Brony Can.
That's right.
That's right.
Silver's going to be there too. Silver, you're coming.
Wait,
Silver,
Silver.
come, Silver. You should come.
The First Bank of Silver is not taking calls.
Hey,
Yeah.
it only cost me $2,000 to go.
Really?
Is that all? Well,
You got to keep in mind, I got to buy two.
yeah,
planes.
I'm
One for me and one for my ego.
I had to buy 2 plane tickets too. One for me and one for my girlfriend.
I got to buy 2 plane tickets too, and Starry is looking at passport information right now.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, passport information too. I
yeah,
forgot
and
about.
Sandy's not gonna be able to go because he's having surgery and gonna drain his bank account. Yeah.
Do we need to,
unfortunately,
do we need
no
to
thank
stream
you, no
that?
pasaporte.
Yes, can we please stream your surgery, Sandy?
Stream my surgery. I don't think that you would like that very much. It's gonna be kind of grody, but we'll move on from here and we'll talk about news.
News time. Fandom fire status. What's the fire?
There's really not one. Everybody's too enamored with the conventions going on right now.
Oh, those are the fires.
There's
now
a-
next week. Oh, next week.
Oh man!
Oh,
Can we be on the show next week?
Oh,
too?
next week.
Wait, what's the? I'm confused. What's next week's fires?
Oh, let's just say there's a con in Nashville next week.
Oh, yes, that's true.
Yeah,
Ooh,
it
so-
actually have started rebranding the acronym as Sleep Apnea Apple Cider
Huh?
So
wow, because you would have to be drunk or asleep to enjoy it.
Yeah. Next week, watch. If you're going to Nashville, watch yourself, kiddies.
yeah, so we can't say it's gonna be. We'll see what happens next, right? Well, no promises, no preemptive doom and gloom. Besides my cackling with glee, there, just ignore that. But Fandom fire status, everyone's having fun this week. So
This week is
chill.
good. Next week
We'll see.
looks. We'll see.
Well, what about Hasbro's decision to make Pinkie Pie an alicorn?
Oh man, the parties will last forever.
Contra
It had to happen.
So we're gonna move on to the news right now. So we have some merch.
They needed help in the pink alicorn department.
Funko prototypes showing up on ye old interwebs. Yes, Funko, the guys who make those really cool vinyls with so far released Derpy the Doctor, Rainbow Dash, and Fluttershy. Some basic molds that are unpainted have popped up. It looks like they have Spitfire, Bonbon, Lyra, Octavia, and Pinkie Pie.
I want a bonbon.
I'm gonna get me both.
I want a bonbon. You can be the Lyra.
Yay! Together forever. So those will be exciting once they finally hit production. Because I will buy every single one of those things that Funko puts out, probably forever.
I like the Nightmare Moon. I want to brush that hair.
Yeah. Also coming up is the
I wanna
second
brush that
wave of the Toys R Us fan collector sets or whatever. So they have Nightmare Moon as they've released the White Princess Celestia, and that was apparently a decent enough seller. And they have the Pink Cadence, and they have the Pink Celestia. So now they're adding Nightmare Moon to the mix. And
Oh, you mean the Draw Me I'm Drunk, or Draw on Me I'm Drunk? Like
no. The actual large scale
Let's fly to the castle.
Yeah, let's fly to the castle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I thought you meant the ones with Sharpie.
Let's. What would Luna say? Like, let's plunge everything into darkness.
Yes.
Nightmare Moon. It's like the night will last forever. Brush my mane. I'm a princess of the night. Are
I
you
hate
my
friendship.
subject? You know, who needs harmony? I got power.
Wait, does that mean that Luna plays the Dreamcast?
Ooh.
Because
that was
she's a
bad.
game- and she-
That was
What?
bad. You should feel bad.
I feel terrible.
Yes.
It was so funny in my head.
The other cool thing, though, is the Shadowbolt Dash, which is the second one of the fan favorite collector. The first one that being the weird glow-in-the-dark Sakura. But this one, it's Shadowbolt Dash with, she actually has a shorter main this time around, closer to actual show main. That'll probably run you $10. I think they jacked the price up to like 17 on those Sakuras towards the end. I really hope that they're not going to do that because it is just a fancy brushable. So we'll see about that. Also, fan favorite set number 2 with Shining Armor, Cadence, Chrysalis, Derpy, and a couple other ponies nobody cares about. Diamond Tiara? Lyrica?
It's got Bug Pony. We'll get it.
It's got Bug Pony and Derpy. That's all you need to know. It's $50. Those two are worth it. Get it.
We'll
kids.
Dremel out holes into Chrysalis. Sure, they will be hollow, but who cares?
Yeah, that's actually going to be funny when people start making the show accurate things. All right, you got to send it in. We'll Dremel this out for you so she has properly cheesy holes.
Cheesy hole.
Cheese legs. So yeah, I'm
Ribbon wishes.
looking forward to that.
Hey, Sandy, you know that girl, that movie?
That movie?
It was okay. And it
apparently a bit of a shocker. It was actually successful in theaters, to the point that they're actually going to expand its showings.
To the point that they're making another one. No, just kidding.
I don't know. I like the intro.
Yeah, the intro was pretty good. And
Yeah.
the bits where they're horses was kind of good.
Sorry to scare all of you.
You can just turn it off and everything else is okay. The picture that they chose for the header of this, Telofi, you and your flashlight, it's unacceptable.
Equestria Girls 2, Equestrian Boogaloo.
Equestria Harbor.
This time it's personal.
Oh man.
Oh, ew. Boo.
DHN will be doing some reviews in
We're
July.
actually called Punnyville Live. All right. Anyway.
Oh, it's happening. So I'm assuming they're going to be expanding the release because again, there's still not any showings within 100 miles of here. So it's kind of hard to go see it legit. Somebody called us out on that last week, and I was like, "Yeah, well, I'll see it if it comes any closer, and I'll buy the DVD when it comes out."
Yeah, definitely. I think we're both going to buy it. So,
just for completion's sake.
Yeah, and just said for complete transparency, journalism and journalistic integrity. Yep.
And
Is it going to come out on Blu-ray?
Yeah.
Probably. That's the one that is the My Little Pony fall. Where everybody gave it the faux reviews, and then they realized, well, this is just gonna be the Equestria Girls.
It had the R rating on it.
R rating and the scenes of mass executions and whatnot. It's like, wow, people went really far. Yeah. So apparently they're gonna be releasing some more Equestria Girls dolls that come with ponies.
Huh.
So they're same face Twilight and same face Celestia with mostly matching skin tones and hair. But apparently they're also going to come with molded mane ponies that have brushable tails. But the thing is, they're probably not going to be in the scale with anybody else. That's the
Wait. Molded mane, but brushable tail.
Yeah, like the McDonald's toys.
Now that just doesn't add up.
Yeah, I just want molded mane brushables. That's why you go to artists like KP Shadow Squirrel. I think it is. No, Otaku Squirrel.
Yeah, Otaku Squirrel.
Who, they make the actual molded tails and manes that you can get. If Hasbro would just do that.
But you can't have disposable small brushes when you do that. We've made all these injected molds. We've got to use them.
Just like how can we get rid of 1,400,000 brushes?
You have so many
Just
combs.
put 3 of them in every toy they put out. Mr. Potato Head comes with a brush.
Comes with a brush.
They're
why is my-
Creo Transformers comes with a brush.
Why
So-
did all the pieces of my toy sets turn into brushes?
Yeah, it's like all the brushes snap together. I actually need to find something from that Sibsy posted about finding her Fluttershy in the wild. Apparently, she's gotten over her shyness.
Hey, now,
Oh yes. Oh, the terrible one.
Fluttershy skirts
A little
Fluttershy's
short.
skirt
is above the horizon,
malfunction.
over the equator.
Over the equator. Oh, you mean Equestria Girls Fluttershy?
Yes, yes.
Faith Summers.
No, they're
Yeah.
actually called Fluttershy.
I know. It's just that, yeah, 4chan did this thing, I guess, where they said that their names were different.
And they were wrong.
Yeah, where
Oh my God.
Fluttershy has gotten over her shyness.
Those dolls.
So
Unrelated.
Sipsy's picture, my comment, sorry.
yeah.
Expected more from you.
All right.
Next up is the Brony study is back for round 2 or 3 at this point, but they're seeking ex-bronies. AKA
Best of luck, boys.
quitters.
So they're looking for burned brones. Is that it?
Oh man.
I feel like I need to help out. I'm leaving the fandom.
So this is the Alex S. survey. So, okay, well, that's...
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like they advertise on things like Equestria Daily, but if you're not associating with the fandom anymore, they're probably not going to go to Equestria Daily anymore.
You're one of those people who fake left the fandom.
Oh,
Where you're like,
right.
I'm leaving the fandom. They're throwing pandas at us.
See you tomorrow.
Yeah,
I'll be back next
putting
week.
the fandom BRB.
Yeah, well, I got to tell you, based on their first 2 surveys, they're not terribly worried about number of respondents. So even if they only hear from 1 or 2 people, that'll be fine. They'll draw
Yeah.
conclusions.
Yeah, they also have a panel up at BronyCon, looks like. So, yeah, we'll get to find out more demographic information from a sample size of 5,200. We'll see about that, but I had to turn up the snark a bit on the news title because it's like Brony Study seeks quitters.
I'm glad that you
At
that you.
BronyCon?
Yeah.
Mhm.
At BronyCon.
I'm glad that you can kick up the sensationalist yellow news there, Sandy.
I'm raking that muck.
Let's see. Hey, there's that game. There's that chatty forum game that you
Yeah,
can use.
Gaia Online. It's a thing for like 14-year-old girls and kids. I've never really paid much attention to it.
And
Aren't we a fan of
everybody
things
on
for
your Xbox
14-year-old
Live channel.
girls?
Yeah, Starry
Not
says she played it.
forums. So they actually have some official pony stuff available for sale, so you can make your avatar have pony ears and or stuff. And of course they've got a derpy because why not? And Hasbro's finally realized that we can't call her by a name, but dang, she's popular. So they're like, we're gonna merch her out as hard as we can, even if we never say her name.
And quickly, she is fan favorite.
She's the horse with no name.
I do have to say, the dude with the
Felt
derpy
good to get
behind
out of the
him
rain.
has the best face of just like, oh.
He's like, you. It's pretty special. So if you do Gaia, which some people might, they have pony stuff that you can add to your little digital avatar for real money.
That Luna set looks totally Tetra.
Yes, Tetra may have to join just to get that. And last but not least,
You're not
It
going to go
would-
into detail on this, how they've set it up,
What, the Gaia?
how they are making money hand over fist.
What, by selling?
Oh, you
by
mean like
selling?
Gameloft?
Well, this is a freemium browser game, right? If that makes sense. You
Oh, that's
pay
exactly
to get
like Gameloft then.
right. You pay to get cosmetic things for your character.
yeah, you have to make your character look more weeaboo than anybody else.
You don't buy Luna gear or Derpy gear or whatever. You buy something that gives you a random pony related reward. They can be anything.
And then it's a collect 'em all type thing, and then
You might get an outfit. You might get a in-game pet. You might get a decoration for your house. It's just completely random.
Wow.
And they are raking it in
yeah.
since this release because people are just dropping money trying to hit the lottery and get one of those outfits or get the money they want.
We should send them a survey asking, Posturepedic or Temperpedic, because I want to know how they sleep at night.
On a huge pile of money.
Yeah.
This bed of cash sure is soft.
How do you sleep at night? Pretty comfy.
Actually, yeah, cash is a pretty good lumbar support.
No, if you ever had a chance to roll around in $20,000 of cash, would you? The answer is yes.
Yes.
So
that's actually not that much. I mean, that's like
it is if it's in small bills,
like ones.
Or
tens and
you,
20s.
or you just
Anyway,
He has a history as a
We're not
dancer.
going to talk about my criminal past here. So,
or if you get it changed into the
Consequential unmarked bills.
if you get it changed into Zimbabwe trillions, you can do that really easily.
Right.
So, anyways, the last little bit of news before we talk about the comic a bit is Funrise is out at the MLP the actual My Little Pony Fair up in Ohio this week, and this is the one for the old school collectors where 3
cons in a weekend.
Well, I mean, this is for the older school collectors. It's been going for like 20 years, and those bronies aren't terribly welcome because they don't have too high opinions of us for probably good reason. But Funrise is out there this weekend, and they have a whole bunch of their new plush that looks like they're coming out. They're putting out princesses. Well, they only have 3 of the princesses. You know who's not represented? Luna. So much for
What? Wow.
They have a Cadence. They have
Objection.
Princess Twilight. They have Celestia, which I'll totally buy. But they don't.
actually white. Yeah.
Yes, and they don't have Luna.
It's always
can
about
imagine.
color with
They
you.
also seem to have the CMC. It looks like.
What?
It looks like they have the CMC and they have Vinyl Scratch. And
This is just
Octavia.
like Friendship is Witchcraft. It is like, oh, hey, Twilight. Oh, do you mind if I join you, toys?
And apparently they have big old spikes too.
Yeah.
So-
a huge spike over there. On
Yeah,
that one
those
picture.
are pretty cool. But yeah, Funrise. I don't see a lot of them in the store. I've only ever found one rarity at a store, so their distribution's not the best.
I'm
What
kind
happened
of
when you found her?
curious in this picture. What are these like? There's this dash I think here in the bottom left corner picture.
I think she's
What's
a
up with those
backpack.
wings?
I think she's a backpack.
I think that's a backpack. I mean, those insect wings are like really getting on my nerves. It's
Wait,
shiny and stiff.
It's kind of it's Funrise. They're not exactly top tier in terms of their plush. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm
Though I do notice that one of the Princess Twilights does have her coronation dress. Oh man.
Yeah. See that over there on that side.
what's she getting coronated for?
Oh, for being a princess.
Wait,
She
she's
traded, he traded
Is that it?
Luna
is that a
for
Dr.
her powers. No, I'm pretty sure it's an Octavia.
I think that's an Octavia.
Unless there's a Doctor Who's hidden somewhere that I missed.
there's
These aren't exactly the biggest photos.
yeah.
Now,
I'm
what's
also
really weird is that the vinyl scratch looks kind of yellow in that photo. I mean, yes, she has a cream colored coat because
Yeah.
we have things like Kefka's color corrections to thank for that, so we can know just exactly what color her coat is. But they also looks like there's something blue.
Yeah, I see that right in front of her.
Yeah, that's weird. It's a blue unicorn.
There's
Maybe-
another one too.
Maybe
right?
it's a Trixie. Oh,
Ooh.
I can't zoom in. Why is my mouse not working?
What color is the eye?
enhance.
Purple-ish, I guess. Yeah, they might be making a Trixie. Who knows? But these photos are insufficient. Insufficient.
Need additional pylons.
We must construct additional pony lawns. So those will be coming out at some time at a store near you, possibly, maybe because Sunrise. You probably buy it off their website.
Yep.
Worst case.
Pinkie Pie.
Pinkie Pie time.
Pinkie Pie time.
Pinkie Pie comic time.
Comic time.
So, Pinkie Pie micro series. That is number 5, I believe.
Hey, Starries.
Is it 4 or 5?
Pull up the XSplit, that way I can make sure I'm showing it right.
Twilight, Rainbow Dash, Rarity, Pinkie, AJ, and we have Fluttershy already. So yeah, this is number 5. Earth Ponies go last. Pinkie Pie number 5, with Ted Anderson as the story and Ben Bates as the art. And we had Ted on the show actually a little while back before this was even printed.
He's a good guy, and it's a good story.
And I have to say that this Ben Bates guy, if he's not the same who's one who did the Fluttershy, I don't think. Because no, that was Tony Fleece. So yeah, this Ben Bates, he does some really good dynamic art for Pony. Just starting out, the first page is this, 45-degree angle action shot of Pinkie flying through the air to smack into Twilight, as she's wont to do. Is there an earthquake scheduled for today?
Don't have an earthquake.
So the whole thing is basically Pinkie super happy to see this clown, this famous clown Poniachi, the greatest clown in all of Equestria, and it's this live show,
The Pagliacci story.
and but she runs into this old pony who's like, Poniachi, who's this dude? Whatever. And
it is definitely, if you know the Pagliacci story, it is definitely a neat play on that.
Yeah, and it's really striking. The scene when they're at the circus itself is a full 2-page non-linear spread where it's just this big illustration across 2 pages, tons of color, very dynamic, and
That's awesome.
tons of different, the word balloons are just all over the place. So you have, the character is very dynamic and the art is very active. It's really quite impressive. And what's really crazy is that there's actually a song included in this comic. The writer, this guy, Ted Anderson, who we had on just a little bit ago, wrote a song into a comic book.
Yep.
I'm impressed. I'm really impressed.
And it is straight on a Pinkie song.
Yeah, not only is it a Pinkie song, somebody actually turned it into an actual song by singing it, and the person doing Pinkie Pie actually sings it quite closely.
If you could find a link for that, I'll actually play a little bit just for a moment. Just drop it in the chat there. But it's gorgeous. It's got a neat story. I like the fact that it's doing the Pagliacci story. It's really kind of it's fun. It's got I like the fact that it doesn't just go back and be like, this needs to happen. Well, okay. Like it finds a different way to kind of resolve, and it is Max Pinkie Pie, which Pinkie Pie is definitely a really. I do like the scene where she's complaining in the wheelbarrow, and just slowly getting covered by more and more produce as they go.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Let's see. Let me check and see if Sandy's delivered.
Ponies eat a lot of vegetables for some reason.
I have the a missing pony. The final line is I heard a joke once. Man goes to a doctor, says he's depressed. Life is harsh and cruel. Says he feels all alone in a threatening world. Doctor says, treatment is simple. The great clown Pagliacci's in town. Go see him. That should pick you up. Man bursts into tears and says, Doctor, I am Pagliacci. Curtain.
Yeah.
It's from Watchmen.
Well, it's an old joke, but yeah, the Watchmen Rorschach it said that particular line.
Does that qualify as a joke, or is that one of those like anti-jokes?
It's an anti-joke.
It's like a horse walks into a bar, the alcoholism is ruining his family.
Yeah, it's kind of it's one of those kind of it's a joke, but it's a joke that after you laugh, you kind of go, oh, a happy person's having a hard time. Oh,
Yes, there's also a pony named Trollololo included as a background character. So, all in all, I would say this is probably the second best of the entire series thus far.
yep. And now we got Apple Pony to check it out. But yeah, I'd recommend this. I mean, as we usually do with the comics, they're all really, really good. If you can't go to a comic book shop and pick it up, there's ways you can get it digitally. So
lots of legal ways.
Absolutely legal ways. And I say that it's worth getting it the legal ways. I've purchased every single one of the comics because I find that they are just stellar. So.
Oh, if in the back of the comic, I noticed that after Applejack, they're going to do the Cutie Mark Crusaders. I didn't know that.
Yep, and then they're going to do Celestia, and they're going to keep on doing the micro series because they're big business for them.
Big business.
Profitable.
Well, I mean, in the end, it's the fact that this is a very profitable series for IDW is really good because it's like their best-selling series that they've done in a really long time, and it's very consistently popular. So, I mean, you've got at least another 4 coming. There's going to be, there's going to be a Celestia one in the CMC, but there's probably going to be a Luna one. Who knows what else?
This what Twilight Sparkle's doing in this micro series ad here, she's like arranging all the comics on a shelf and stuff. I actually just did that yesterday.
Yeah. And she's like, wait a minute, I'm a pony and I'm reading comics about myself. This is only slightly weird.
It's all totally meta, right?
Yeah, it's very, very meta.
Can you guys see the alternative covers for this? The Larry's Comics and the Jetpack Comics covers? Those are actually kind of disturbing.
I don't have
think about it.
Gingerbread Spike and the Pie Sisters with Trixie as the old witch.
The Hansel and Gretel.
Hansel and
Trixie
Gretel,
wants
yeah.
to eat Pinkie Pie. And Pinkie Pie wants to eat Spike. So it's a little bit...
Wow, this is weird.
It is weird.
The only ones I have on the digital version is the regular one with the photo booth and then the one with her with Max Food and Party.
Right.
Yeah, I got the photo booth one.
And of course, this is the one edition where they release a special convention version. I totally forgot the convention that happened.
Yeah, it was BotCon, which is really crazy because it's a Transformers convention.
And it has
Optimus Prime, and there's the line. It's like "till all are fun" or something like that. It's Optimus Prime scratching his head and Pinkie Pie dressed up as Optimus Prime because why not?
Cosplay.
Yep, pony cosplay. At least she didn't have a box and just write Gundam on the front. So moving on, we've got ourselves some email time.
Sweet.
Email time.
Yes, you can always email across to us at bronyville@gmail.com. We read all of your emails that you send across to us, and we love them. So make sure you do if you have something that you want to talk about Pony. I will go first, Sandy second. Let's do Bob third, Silver fourth, and Borg fifth.
All right.
Go in that order. All right, let me do this. If we have 5. I don't even know if we have 5. Hello, Chef Apple Knight and innocent bystanders. At least then a month, my friend and I will be driving to Galacon around 900 kilometers. I am just having fun with this one. South of us. What should one bring to a con? And what do you do at a con when you're not staff or trying to sell stuff? Also, I would like to meet up with any Dane that is going and any other Bronyville fans. twisted.haywire@derpymail.org. P.S. Favorite episode this week is Rescue at Midnight Castle. And going for an oldie. Jen Wunner. All right, what do we do at cons besides work at them?
Oh, you socialize, you have fun, you meet new people.
Find a room party.
Drink.
Well, yeah, you do that too.
Even if you don't drink, I know, there's a lot of
Lots of fun socialization.
Drink, but Yeah, there's lots of stuff to do.
So here,
Watch the panel.
this is what I say. Thursday, depending on if they have an early registration Thursday, get your badge on Thursday. If they don't, be there early on Friday. That way you can get it and also avoid the line if the con is large and there's going to be a large line. Make sure you pre-reg. Very important for 2 reasons. One, it makes it so that the convention you're going to actually has some cash, which is amazingly helpful for a convention trying to get everything up and running. 2, it makes it so that they have their badge ready for you so that when you show up, they go, here you go. You don't have to wait there for them to print it. So please make sure you pre-reg. It's so important. And it saves you cash.
Another important note, make sure you have the confirmation of your pre-reg in case they don't have your badge. Keep it with you.
Yeah, if you are driving 900 kilometers, which I assume is more than 15 miles,
500.
you should
400.
Be sure that you have everything laid out well ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you plan.
If it makes you guys feel better,
Register for your
90% of
room
it's going to be
well in
Autobahn. So
Yeah.
I'll have
it'll
to
take
say,
them 10 minutes.
Silver's going to be shocked that I'm going to say this, but I think one of the most important things you have to do is eat. Remember to eat and drink.
Yeah.
Yes.
Water.
That's where 621 comes in. 6 hours of sleep, 2 meals a day, and a shower.
Yep.
If you are
At least
stinky,
1 hour of sleep, 6 meals a day,
Yes.
and 2 showers.
yeah. If you are stinky on Thursday, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Okay. Since my wife lived in Denmark for a year, I can't believe I'm giving this advice. But
Okay, here we go.
cons are about the other people there. So get there Thursday, early Friday, as soon as you possibly can, and just start some conversations, be it in line or in a social area or whatever. And once you find some folks you get along with, make a plan for when there's no panels that you guys want to see, whether that's late at night or whatever, and go be social, right? Like go out, it can be in the convention space or whatever, but just go shoot the bull and drink like a Swede that just got off the ferry, right? Dane knows what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. And I would say, that's kind of the good thing. I've been to really just, you're going there to be social and to hang around with people who have like-minded interests. I always found it odd when people go to conventions and, for instance, just play video games the whole time, or they kind of hide away in the corner and kind of avoid other people, though they paid, however much money to be here with other people. It's just try and be social. One thing I'd also say is, except for the instance of who I would consider like really big show stars, a lot of people that you would consider guests have no problem hanging out and talking. You might have a little bit harder time trying to get Tara Strong to talk to you, and spend a whole bunch of time with you. But, I know for a fact that if you catch Peter New or a lot of some of the other like VAs at the bar and you just be friendly and courteous, you can end up just hanging for a bit. Just don't come off as like obsessive or weird, and you'll be golden. A stalker. Yeah. I love you, Peter New. You do the Mac voice. I really like that.
Love your work.
The surprising
Can I buy you
thing,
a drink?
If this is your first convention, which Galacon, that does limit your geographic convention options. There aren't a whole lot over there. But beyond the list of prepared things they've, brought to discuss, what other dreams Luna has seen, is Rainbow Dash her real name, and will Pinkie Pie ever break the fifth wall? The other thing to remember is even famous bronies are totally normal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and it's like surprising. It surprised me. Like when I first went to my first convention and I sat down and was talking to these guys, I'm like, what do we like to do, in your spare time? And they're like, well, I'm on Steam, and I like play Team Fortress. And I'm like, wait,
well,
you're like a normal
person.
What's your favorite hat?
That's most appropriate for Peter and Woody.
The Plague Doctor mask and the Plague Doctor hat in Team Fortress 2 is the answer.
The anonymous Guy Fawkes mask.
Yes.
Yeah, let's see. Make sure you bring money, not only to buy stuff, but to feed yourself. Important.
You're going to spend more than you think you're going to spend.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
If you are a good number of people share rooms at conventions. That's also another thing to know. It's not bad. Actually, it can help knock down the costs considerably. There definitely is room limits. Sometimes room limits are broken. That's just something kind of to know. If you can, some people don't mind sleeping on the floor for a, really cheap room. And let's see, what else?
Oh, well, I can tell you from my perspective, I'm a big germaphobe. And so these whole huge gatherings of people, like the first 2 or 3 conventions, I came back with the worst sinus infection. After the con crud. They call it con crud. It's a mix of every virus and bacteria on every person that rubs up against you accidentally or coughs near you or whatever.
Yeah. If you notice, the autograph tables where the guests are signing autographs, there'll be huge bottles
of hand sanitizer. Yep. And bring one with you. Bring one of the little portable things of hand sanitizer. If you feel like it's been longer than a few minutes and you've been shaking hands actually the bro hoof is actually
pretty good. Like
surprisingly sanitary, but it's
I have to say, after Unicon, I probably had the worst illness in 10 years. Just fever and it was so bad. So yeah,
I had the worst bank account after.
I don't know which made me sicker, the stress or the actual viruses.
Yeah. That was pretty rough. Let's see, and I mean the other thing is just pretty much see people and have fun. And if you find yourself bored, go volunteer for just a little bit.
Yeah, one important thing to remember at conventions, especially Brony conventions, I was this way at the beginning. These people are way more accepting than you may find people, a random sample of people in your hometown to be. So if you don't feel like, if you have some existing social anxiety, you don't feel like you can approach people in your community because they'll judge you, or whatever the case is. This is not one of those cases. You can approach a random person at a convention like this, and provided that they're an attendee of the convention and not just staying at the hotel, because that happens too. Make sure that they're not just staying at the hotel and that they're
look for the badge
for a database conference or something.
Or the Brony shirt.
Brony shirt, have a derpy day, something like that. Just look for, some identifying factor. But you can strike up a conversation with 99% of those people and have a great time. So
I don't know.
Can I give a couple of pieces of old man advice? Been going to these things for 25 years.
Go old man.
Okay. You and everyone else there with a badge share a common interest. Social convention still applies, okay? Indoor voice. Don't start a conversation that some people would consider inappropriate. Perfectly okay to talk about ponies. Perfectly okay to talk about other things. But you don't want to start a random conversation about your favorite ships with someone you don't know. Right? That's like a second date topic.
Don't go up to Kefka Floyd and start talking about that topic. Certain people like their fandom certain ways.
So you're not going to be judged, but the same standards of social behavior do still apply to convention. And everyone right now in the rooms is nodding and thinking of people they've seen at conventions, right? Do not be Mr. Loudy or Mr. Interrupty or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
2, speaking of cheap rooms and if you get bored, volunteer. Depends on the con. You guys are all welcome to steal this from me. Depends on the con, but a number of cons, of course, overnight in the dealer's room. Once the dealer's room closes, all the merchandise is left in there and they lock the doors. and they have volunteers. They have security staff stay in there overnight. And it's always a job that people don't like for whatever reason. It's a free flipping room. Bring some blankets and a sleeping bag with you and say, I will take overnight shift in the dealer's room and just rack out in there from, 2 to 8 in the morning or whatever the overnight shift is. And so then you don't have to pay for a room.
All right,
Don't get the idea that you can do any shopping because they cover the tables with cloths and stuff. But yeah,
And
it's a free room.
You're going to get your stuff checked on the way out the door if they don't know you.
Yep. All right. I think that's probably a good starter. Just make sure you have enough cash. Make sure you take care of yourself. Don't be weird, and you'll have a good time.
Don't be weird.
Don't get weird. Too late.
Oh no! All right, Sandy, what we got next?
I was like, did you look and see what type of con you're at?
I'm
greetings.
going to professional con. What are you talking about? This pony fandom just seems to build up around it.
Right.
Business fan.
Greetings, hosts and guests of Bronyville. On episode 112, one of your listeners asked what you wish to see in Season 4, and I feel like sharing my two main hopes. First, since Bab Seed mentioned 2 new recruits for the Manhattan branch of the CMC, there's no doubt in my mind they'll be introduced to them in Season 4. However, for a change of pace, I'm hoping that one of them would be a cult in lieu of a filly. It would bring an opportunity to have a female-heavy cast have a new kind of relationship with other characters without tribulations and mess of full-on romance. Though I would not be surprised if this is explored somewhere else in Season 4. Flashlight. I feel it could work because the CMC aren't as prominent as the main 6, so it could be brought back on occasion. Second, my other hope is for a singing duet with Rarity and Sweetieville. About what? I don't know, and I don't care. Ideally, I'd want something about them not getting along and then reprise later about them making up. Well, after that, keep up the excellent work, and I hope to see you at some convention someday. Yours truly, you Mansif.
I know a convention we'll all be at.
Yeah, if there was a boy in the CMCs, oh man, that'd be so weird. Except it wouldn't be, so I could see them doing that.
Cult cooties.
There would immediately the shipping cannons would begin to fire.
They would.
The shipping cannons never stop firing.
These two characters looked at each other tangentially in an episode. Oh man. These two characters have never been seen in a single episode together, but somehow have similar things in common. Therefore, they must be together.
Right. Well, you don't see them because they're together off screen, right?
What about Brad's younger brother? I still call him Brad. I'm gonna call him Brad.
And I think we should always call him Brad. Flash Sentry is fine, but Brad is funnier.
Yep.
We can call his pony version Flash Sentry, but in there, I want him to be.
Colt could never be in the CMC because Colts are never blank flanks. They're just far superior to affiliates.
I was gonna say there's probably some blank flank Colts in Ponyville Confidential. After we watch the episode, it's a good excuse as any because it's a good episode.
There's no requirement that a cult ever actually graduate into cutie markdom because a lot of them have those day labor jobs that don't involve they just have no talent or something. It's my talent was eating Cheetos, and so I ended up.
When it's a
Mountain Dew
society.
Yeah. I've got Mountain Dew and Doritos. That's my cutie mark.
Honest question.
No, his cutie mark's Geoff Knightley with the Dorito Pope hat.
Are Mr. Cake, Davenport, and Big Mac the best examples of skilled labor for male characters?
Well, Filthy Rich, too.
Filthy Rich is okay. You also have
Flavor.
Featherweight, who's
he's not
characteristic is that
labor,
he's tiny.
Capitalism.
got Fancy Pants for being all fancy.
And he also doesn't wear pants.
That's true.
Shining
As
arms
far as I can tell,
ponies,
Fancy
though,
Pants doesn't have a job.
Okay.
Yeah, what does Fancy Pants do besides be fancy?
He's rich.
He's a rich.
He's full-time rich.
He's a Camelot noble. They don't have to have jobs.
He's got old
Right.
pony.
Really, the
He
only
launches airships.
the
He's
only
inherited G1 fortune or something.
the only stallions I can think that actually hold down some form of steady employment is the guards.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, Davenport, right?
And Davenport has his own store.
He's a small
He sells
business
quilts and
owner.
sofas.
Yeah.
And there's Mr. Cake.
It's small business
And-
owner fuels
and
the
Mr.
economy.
Breezy.
Filthy rich.
Yeah, but if Twilight moves out of Ponyville, for any reason, half of his business vanishes.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So
It's
now
gonna
it's
be just sofas.
it's just sofas for rarity, so that she can drag them around wherever she needs them.
Hate to bring it up,
Yeah.
but Flim Flam.
Ugh.
They corner a market.
Yeah, their
That
jobs
they
are
fail at?
they're hucksters,
Traveling salesman.
Yeah.
Awesome.
traveling sales ponies, non-pare.
But I'm talking about like skilled labor, right? You own a business.
Big Mac.
Yeah, there's Mac and there's Mr. Cake and
Rayburn.
there's Mr. Breezy and there's Davenport. And that's all we got.
Oh, Brayburn is a settler.
Rayburn,
Right.
he's a
I never,
doesn't have a job.
I never gathered what his role was in that town though. Like
He
he's
seems to
not
have a
the
very
sheriff.
general type
Chamber
of
of
job, kind of
Commerce
like
tour guide.
It's like, well,
He's kinda like
you know what they
a
say
con
about
head.
Brayburn.
Yeah.
He does
There's
whatever.
there's Sheriff Silverstar, but again, he doesn't own a business, but he is the sheriff.
Yeah.
We're scraping the bottom of this barrel again.
You are.
So, hey, let's move on to the next email. I think Bob gets this one.
Bob.
You did this on purpose, didn't you?
Yes, probably.
Okay. I am going to alter this email to try and read it as I think it was intended to be written. Fair enough? Feel free and correct me.
Go for it.
Hello, Apple Cider, Chef Sandy, and Starry Night. During the most recent con, Fiesta Equestria, I briefly stopped by Chef's table and talked about the project with him. What project? Wait and see. It is the hope of the team that maybe you could mention the project in one of your podcasts. Done and done. Giving us what useful publicity we need in order to make the idea of the project reality. Now, you're probably wondering what this project is about. The goal of this project is to take the fandom's OCs that are applied, I guess is as good as mine there, and take a few of them and create a short 10-minute episode centered on the OC using other applied OCs as background and supporting roles. We hope to make this a series. This being said, we have a second goal of the show, if we could call it that, to showcase the creative side of the fandom and attempt to give the members of the team the chance to show their abilities off to the fandom. In a nutshell, we're trying to give the little guys of the fandom a chance to step into the spotlight that is usually taken by the already well-established creators. This also means that our show might be rather uniform in art and style, but we will give other animators interested a chance to create episodes. Now to the part of the email where we explain why we're asking you to help us. We would appreciate a chance to not only gain some publicity, but also more OCs, because we never seem to have enough. If you have any questions regarding the project or anything else, please just reply to this message and I will get them answered as soon as possible. We can be found on Twitter at Production Ponies. And we also have a YouTube channel where we will be posting the episodes and some of the team's shenanigans from time to time. And it's under the same username, Production Ponies. Hope to hear back from y'all soon. Your listener, head pre-reader / head of pre-R, Calvary.
So there you go.
There you go.
I tried.
It's called Production Ponies?
Production Ponies. No space.
So it sounds like they're making a episode with OCs that are starring and in the background, and they're looking
Taking
for
turns, maybe?
and they're making episodes that are, and they're looking for animators and OCs. I don't. What's that? I'm trying to remember which.
Is this a full length episode?
10 minutes,
10-minute thing.
which is
It's
pretty
10
long.
minutes.
That's
Everybody
ambitious.
has a story. What's yours?
Mhm.
And that's the guy gave me a flyer, and it was in my portfolio here.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember there was a good wiki a while back that had a whole bunch of OCs that would just be absolutely crazy to see someone
remember
use some
that,
of the
yeah.
stuff.
Yes, everyone's the second cousin of Celestia, twice removed.
Yeah, I'm trying. I wish I could remember the name of that wiki, because some of the great stuff in it was some of those original characters owe them.
Yes.
Oh, the
so,
don't do this guide to making an OC?
Something like that.
Don't do this guy.
So
I don't know.
it's
If
a
they
great
were like
idea. But 10 minutes, man. 10 minutes of animation. If you sit and think about it, that's
months.
half an episode. That's almost half an episode of the show. And
How long was Double Rainbow?
Like 25?
25.
20-something minutes?
It was
It
about
was full
30.
length. That thing took months.
Well,
and also had a whole bunch of people.
It was also
Yeah,
part
and
of
it
a
had a full
project.
team.
Yeah.
so, 10 minutes of decent animation, that's a few months of work an episode.
Vicious.
Now, it depends on whether they're planning on animating it in show quality or whether they want to, like, do still frame
Yeah.
or something.
Right.
You could always change up the animation style and just do something I've seen that's popular is the Big Brother Best Friend kind of animation style. Since it's much simpler, it's easier to do to kind of do stuff with that. Matter of fact, my one cool thing this week uses that style. So,
Ooh.
yeah.
All right. So if I understand this correctly, they want OCs.
Yep.
Right. And again, it's at Production Ponies on Twitter, or just Production Ponies is their YouTube channel. And it looks like they'll give anyone interested in animating their own episodes a quote unquote chance. So it doesn't look like they're actively looking for help with the show. They're looking for OCs. So there you go.
Okay.
Wow.
There you go.
We could be in the background. We're background ponies. Applejack could
I
be
don't
there
think my
too.
OC would fit.
No.
My OC is kind of strange.
Tries to assimilate everybody and
Wearing
then
armor all the time.
Join the herd.
it's partly robot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's 2 more emails left. So who
Okay.
you guys get to fight over it? Wait, there's 2 of them. There's 2 of you.
I was like, yeah, we got 2. Yeah, so we're good. All right, so I want to read the PonyCon AU one because I like PonyCon AU.
Oh,
More Australian
I'm not gonna
accents.
do it. I'm not gonna do it in the accent. I swear. All right. So here we go. Hi, Chef Sandy and Apple Cider. Beth from the PonyCon AU team again. I heard you mention an email on the show that shouldn't be read because it was more business related. Could that have been my email? I'm a little unsure whether you got it or not since I just started using this email. I hope I don't go straight to spam folders. I know it's probably just that you're very busy, but I was hoping we could talk about the possibility of being on the show or getting a mention. Our crowdfunding campaign is up and it's doing very well. It's on Possible, which is basically the Australian version of Kickstarter. We're fully funded, so our goal of getting Andrea Libman over has been reached, but we're hoping we can get Peter New as well, along with some cool extras for attendees like lanyard passes and con bags. There are some reward tiers that could be good for any international backers and want to help out with t-shirts, pins, etc. So yes, we'd have a bunch to talk about. Thank you for taking the time to read this. Beth Perro, Community Relations, PonyCon AU, Melbourne. Melbourne.
Melbourne. What? Yeah, it's
they
like,
don't-
okay.
they don't
It's
say
in
it.
Melbourne, Australia.
They don't
There
say
you go.
They don't say born there.
Burn.
They give me a hard time about that every time I say it.
Melbourne.
Melbourne.
we actually have a bunch of people in
Give me a
Pony
lot
Live.
of
Yeah.
in Pony Live.
Well,
And we will also be providing coverage of PonyCon AU in
2014.
Yeah, exactly. Very excited.
And, they've got 13,000 Australian of their 10,000 that they're looking for with 42 days to go. So good to know that there's some support out there in Aussie land.
Yeah.
Thumbs
Now,
up. I did email
year's-
them, so we'll be talking to them before too long, I'm sure.
This year's PCAU was in Sydney, and so I guess they just sort of are rotating cities a little bit, just because they only have like one convention. So I mean, a huge continent.
Pretty much a continent, yeah.
Continent,
Except 85% of it is dust.
dust and desert and stuff. Yeah. So
All right. Hey, Borg.
sweet.
All right. So, last email here is, hey, my name is Jonathan. Thank you for answering my question in episode 111. I have 2 questions for you guys this time. My first question is, Why do you think every pony loves Luna so much? Is it because of her character? Her sad and tragic backstory? What do you think makes Luna so awesome? My second question is, do you think Nightmare Moon is Luna's Venom symbiote from Spider-Man? Thank you. And
2 questions I can answer.
Jonathan.
I have no clue why people love Luna so much. I think it's my guesses are it was based off of the Luna that you saw in the second episode, so everybody glommed onto her because it's like, oh, there's this sad little princess sitting up in the moon and she's so sad. Look at her. No, she was Nightmare Moon that whole time. What are you talking about? You're crazy.
Demon Spawn.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've heard that, because my best pony is Luna, right? And I can tell you that I think that partly why I like it is just because people assigned a lot of their internal sort of insecurities to her.
Yep.
Who doesn't want to destroy like everything at some point?
Ever.
Well, who doesn't feel like they've been, almost like out of the loop in society for some long time? Like I've had that happen sometimes where I come back and I listen to Top 40 radio and I'm like, what happened?
Just like Luna.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, I don't wind up yelling in the middle of crowds or anything like that. But at the same time, the sense of alienation is probably a common thread when you start to like things that aren't societally conforming. The first thought you have is like, maybe I am off track with society, which is sort of how Luna felt. But then she figures out a reasonable balance. She gets to keep her personality, but at the same time, she sort of fits in better.
Yeah.
So I think we can all identify with that, right?
See, I would argue that people like the Luna in their heads. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because you don't have a lot of information about her. People just get to make up whatever the heck they want, a la Derpy. And that's what they like. They like their headcanon Luna.
Yeah. They like the fandom that's built up around her, not so much well, I'm sure that people like the Luna Eclipse, but, the whole gap between her appearance in season 1, not appearing in the end for the rest of it until only appearing up in Luna Eclipse, people wrote all this fan fiction and made this hugely popular fan and character where she's 1,000 years out of sync, learning to do basic things, hugs onto her abacus because that's the only thing she really remembers from her time when she's around.
Yeah, I mean, remember when Luna Eclipse was coming out? We discussed like the week before of just being like, expect your fanon to be ruined.
Yes, the fanon has been canoned.
Yeah. It
but
is
actually,
she the sad emo girl pony became Queen Canterlock, she just yells.
Canterlock.
Yes.
It was the headcanon for Luna. I think they just sort of assign, which is interesting to me. It's always been interesting that people like Fluttershy for the same sort of, she's an introvert and she's somehow not quite 100% on society and stuff, but she does a lot of things that are, nighttime related. I guess part of the other appeal is Luna's the princess of the night and a lot of us are nocturnal.
They're pretty they're pretty inconsistent about that on the show so far, aren't they?
Yeah.
I don't know where Tabitha's accent came from in Sleepless in Ponyville. I was like,
oh, you mean her Dream Invader thing?
Yeah, the accent she was using for Luna was completely different from what she had used for the first few appearances. And the look, like the treatment Luna gives Twilight Sparkle in the first Crystal Empire episode, if you go back and rewatch those first few minutes,
it's so weird.
Kind of cold, given that this was your buddy on Nightmare Night, right?
But I wonder if there isn't some sort of like, of course, this is headcanon too, right?
It's all headcanon and speculation.
Headcanon and speculation, me saying like perhaps her cold demeanor is she doesn't mean to seem cold. She actually really cares for people. It's just sort of like in the Luna Eclipse episode, right? Where she was like, of course it was a good thing that you saved me. Doesn't that seem obvious?
Wasn't that clear?
But it was like, but it isn't. It's because she's almost got some sort of like,
so that just takes us back to the whole headcanon.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Luna is just so professional. She is professional 100%. When
Absolutely.
You want my wife's her impression?
Go for it.
Because I asked her the same thing. I was like, you clearly like Luna as a character. And her response was, she's really pretty.
Yeah, Starry. Starry, why do you like Luna? Yeah, there you go. Same thing.
She's a pretty cartoon horse.
It's a pretty pony.
She's a pretty pony. I think I'm a pretty pony.
Color scheme. Way too much blue eyeshadow.
Yeah, and same thing Starry says because she's out late, partying all the time that she's like that. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Next
There
email,
we go.
Borg.
That's it.
Well,
Where
we
is it?
didn't answer the
That's
second
it.
question
Oh,
about
that was.
Nightmare Moon,
Oh,
did we?
okay. Yeah, that was it.
Noon.
Nightmare Moon.
Totally, yes.
Luna's Venom symbiote from Spider-Man.
That
Everything
makes
but the word
perfect
symbiote.
sense.
Yeah, wasn't that kind of sort of shown in the comic?
I don't know, but I know Lauren Faust said that Nightmare Moon's a separate parasitic entity. So, there you go.
She said that?
Yeah. Speaking ex cathedra, Nightmare Moon is not part of Luna. It's not an aspect of her personality. Just latched right onto her.
Yeah, and
It is
that's
fascinating still how much thought she put into all that.
yeah, and that sounds equal to Nightmarity. So
Nightmarity.
You have to be really angry and really unsure, and you're open to it.
Careful, I
one
haven't
of the
actually read
bad
that.
things in
I haven't read
Equestria.
that comic yet.
it's a pretty neat storyline. I'd go do it. Nightmarity is pretty cool looking.
I keep sealing my comics in their little folders, and then I don't want to open them again. I'm like,
Because
oh, wait, I
they'll be
should've
worth
read that.
because they'll be worth so much. It's like Ty Beanie Babies. You know how many people's college funds are based off of those?
Uh-oh.
None?
Yes, correct. All right. Well, thank you all for your emails. That is, you can always email across to us at bronyville@gmail.com, and we will read them on the show, and we love talking about your emails. It's time for, well, first off, let me inform Bob, Borg, and Silver that we need one cool things. So if you will want to begin your search, you may go. First off, 5-star iTunes Bronies. I want to thank Desert Nocturne, 5 Iron Brony, and Daisy Azurus for leaving us reviews on the US iTunes store. Thank you very much. As I mentioned at the top of the show, right now on iTunes, we are in the top 10 What's Hot podcasts for TV and movies. So hooray. Thank you all for getting us up there. Always great to be up there. We're in good company, and we're beating people like the Tested Podcast, and what was the other one you mentioned before?
Yeah. Now, of course, the What's Hot is always very volatile, so,
Yep.
yeah.
But we're beating pros.
Yep.
Awesome. Thank you all. Donators want to thank In Orloff and H. Skedos.
Cedillos.
Adios.
You're better at this than me. For donating across, and thank you very much. As said, any contributions you can help can get me over across to Brony Can. As said, don't want to beg for it. If you have the capabilities, that would be great. But make sure you pay your mortgage and everything first. Before, dropping insane cash on trying to get silly dude up to Canada. So, excellent. All right, one cool thing time to talk about what we think is cool on the internet. Mine's pony related. Looks like Sandy's is too. So,
Yep.
I'm going to go ahead and do this. Mine I can't click because there is some harsh language.
It's pretty funny, though.
It is. It is by Poninator. And he did a reviews of season 1 and season 2. If you were to sum up every single episode in one very harsh sentence, what it would be. And this is called What I Learned Today. So you should click on it. There's lots of yelling, harsh language, isn't really offensive. Work safe if you've got if you've got headphones and can be at work. But yeah. Yeah, it's no. I don't let that sound like I'm underselling it. I just the funny stuff that he says inside of it cannot be repeated sometimes. So, Sandy, what you got?
Mine is the Black Nerd Reviews, My Little Pony Equestria Girls. So there's this dude. He's a black nerd, and it's called Black Nerd Comedy. I don't know his actual name, but he reviews Equestria Girls. He apparently went down to the release of the actual release in LA and talked to a couple people and just kind of discusses his point of view on the thing. It's 6 minutes 40 seconds long or so.
What a casual.
I know he doesn't spend an hour talking about the thing and picking things apart, but it's a pretty good review. A lot more concise.
Yeah. Well, we wanted to nitpick everything. All right, Bob, what do you got?
Apparently something that makes him laugh. Okay. We had a first-year Texas Con take place last weekend, and everyone got paid.
Praise Celestia!
Yeah, praise Celestia. It's actually possible to pay your VAs and guests. Even if you have a lot of VAs and guests, you can pay them.
Yay.
We'll see if this repeats next week.
Financial solvency.
I know, right?
It's a business. Treat it like it. Borg, what do you got?
Well, season 3 has been released on Google Play for those who don't like the Apple alternative. Which I'm not somebody who does that. So, if you feel the need to legitimately buy, which I do encourage the episodes, then I recommend Google Play.
Are they? Is it? What's the pricing on that? Since it is 13 episodes.
Each episode $2.99, or the whole season I want to say is like $18.99.
Well, that's not bad.
No, let's see.
That's not DRM free. It's just a different kind of DRM, right?
Right.
Yeah, you can get, if
Right.
I remember correctly, SD is take it wherever you want, but it's the HD that is Android locked.
Yeah.
Oh, and look at that. There's a whole bunch
okay.
of pony free apps. So what is that about, huh? All right. Well, that's cool. I'm going to go ahead and check that out in just a little bit. Yeah, $1.99, and all of season 3 is there by season. And yeah, $18.99 for SD, $24.99 for HD. So that is the pricing on that. All right, Silver, what do you got?
All right, I got a stupid cool thing that we have. We're doing pictures of the Derpy Hooves news banner with cats because we like Derpy Hooves news. But also the cool thing here, and this is a shameless self-promotion here a little bit, but the musicians booth out of nowhere, decided that they were going to do these big mix track sets. So they actually uploaded all of the sets from the whole weekend, in a way that you can actually hear them without it destroying your ears. So you can hear it at a reasonable volume. But one of our partner stations in Ponyville Live, Brony Radio, sort of archived all these together. But the one that sticks out that people might not think is all that special because they thought, I already heard Silverhound at the Pwn 3 Tektronica concert. Actually, out of nowhere, he decides he's going to fill a gap in the schedule. Right, so there's a gap in the schedule. The guy can't make it. He's, had to leave, catch his flight early, and so they go up and they ask Silva. It's like, Silva, can you come do a mix set? And he's just like, yeah, sure. So he does 45 minutes of mixing, and this is some of the sickest stuff. His Pwn 3 Tektronica, he was sort of mixing in with the people before and after him, and it was a lot of his more popular songs, right? It was Hooves Up High and all that other stuff, But this is just one of the biggest treats, and it's just one of these little known secrets of Fiesta Equestria. And it's at the bottom of our archive page in the DJ sets. Silverhound's DJ set. It's totally different from the Tektronica thing. If you like Silverhound, you'll love it.
Let me see if I can find that. Silverhound surprise set. It is down there at the dance floor DJ sets.
Mm-hmm.
Let me click this.
First one.
Let me click this for a moment just to give everyone a quick taste. Because it is audio, so audio is fun. Let's see if I can skip forward a little bit. Let's see. Nope, not letting me skip forward, but it is 26 minutes.
Mm-hmm. And then Finning comes on after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Silva and Finning together. It's a treat.
Yep.
I love it.
All right, check that out. That is listed on Ponyville Live. They're friends of ours. Yay. And it's all listed, all their crazy videos. Good Lord, you've got a lot of videos.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
All right, we'll go ahead and check that out. And, okay, well, that takes us there to the end. That is everything. Well, first off, it's time for us to go ahead and wrap up the show since one cool thing's done.
Yep.
First off, need to go ahead and thank our guesty guestersons. Thank you very much, Silver and Borg, for coming on, telling us about Ponyville Live, and I'm looking forward to hanging out and doing lots of work with you guys come our next convention set.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Thanks for having us on.
Yep.
Wait, there's a convention coming up?
Yep. hey, Borg, I'm going to see you in Canada more than likely.
Yay!
If I get peer pressured into this, so help me.
Do it! Do it, Philly! Do it!
Oh, it's so far.
It's not like you can tell them all the cool kids are going to Canada, because that's so obviously not the case.
Yeah. It's in... Listen, we can all be total spaghetti in front of DHX Studios. It'll be cool.
Oh, that's right.
So, I want to go ahead. So, thank you.
Saying in the background?
She's chanting Canada. She's obviously changed her allegiance from Germany to Mexico, now to Canada. She loves Canada. So thank you both for coming on. Great to have you. And as said, looking forward to the future of what kind of crazy we can make.
Craziness.
Bob, as always, voice of reason. Was that a
The bar
snort?
set incredibly low.
Sandy, Thundermaker,
Count on me.
as always.
I'll be
And
interesting next weekend. I'm going to be on some good drugs.
oh boy, are you still going to be on?
I'm going to try to. I'll be home.
We'll see. Yeah.
Well, next week.
I'll be home and I can't drive a car, so I'm going to have to do something.
So
You
it's-
can't ride in a car.
Sandy drugged up cast will be interesting. By the way, Sandy's having some stomach surgery.
Yes.
Yep.
Banana stomach.
Yeah. And thank you very much to all of our fans. Be it if you are in the chat room right now, hello fans. We love you. If you are listening to this on your iPhone, Android, whatever device, if you're catching this on YouTube, thank you all for listening and hanging out with us talking pony stuff for 2 hours or so. We love every single one of you and your contributions, and just happiness and praise keeps us going. So thank you all very, very much. The lowdown of how you can find this, well, you can go over to BronyShow.com or BronyvillePodcast.com. You can email us at Bronyville@gmail.com. Join us roughly every Saturday, noon Pacific at Justin.tv/BronyvillePodcast. Leave us an iTunes reviews. It's mega cool. You can listen to the show on Celestia Radio, and we need to get us on Ponyville Live, I bet.
Yeah, how are we not on? Well, you're on the Ponyville Live homepage.
Oh, well, we're going to need to put us into rotation at some point. But for right now, you can listen to us on Celestia Radio every Tuesday, 3 Pacific, 6 Eastern, and 11 p.m. UTC. My Twitter account is at Bronyville.
Mine's Sandy.
Meetup groups, I'm a member of the Bronies of Northern California.
And I'm Brony, North Texas.
And conventions, I've got the Sacramento Brony Expo, I've got BronyCan, and I've got Nightmare Nights Dallas.
I've got DerpyCon South, Brony Fanfare, and Nightmare Nights Dallas.
Oh, you're heading to...
In a slightly less official capacity. More official?
Well,
less
I may
official?
be down at DerpyCon South. Depends on how that thing rolls out. The more cons I can get flyers out to, the better. The more advertising, the better. I'm not going to fall into the trap of trying to advertise with just one outlet. That's silly.
I know.
Brony Fanfare got table trade set up, and I'll be at Nightmare Nights Dallas, but you won't see much of me except for me running around like a chicken with my head cut off.
You'll be screaming, going, it's all broken! Or hopefully not. Not would be the preferable.
Not as preferred.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's great. That has been episode 113. Thank you all for listening of us prattle on about ponies for 2 hours. We will let you go back to your regularly scheduled lives at this point. For now, though, sleep well, every pony.
Adios.
Bye-bye! Give you a Markiplier, bye-bye.
Hit the button.
You can't have an app